Hey everybody, it's Bust with Battles with Bust number 44, and I know what you're saying in your head. I know how scared you are. You're saying, oh shit, a patch is about to come out today. Am I going to get my weekly dose of scouts? And worry not, it is coming right at you. And so, as you all are watching the video, the 3.6 patch should be coming out today for you. So we'll be brewing up and playing cool stuff with that as soon as we can. But for me, right now, as the video is being recorded, it is our last day of the 3.5 patch. And so there's no reason to come up with anything new and exciting because the meta is going to shake up quite hard. So why not just take another day playing the best deck in the format? And so this is the Scouts. And so if you're not familiar with what we do, we'll give it a quick overview here real quick. If you're familiar, feel free to jump on in. I won't give you any good life advice before the game start. But if you're over here looking at the right column, the right side of your screen on the bad matchups column, it's got Yuumi Pantheon in here, which we just ignore. That matchup's abysmal. We're not going to try to meta around it. We're just going to accept that it's bad, and we're probably just not going to play against it. But the rest of these decks, your Ezreal Caitlyn's, your Caitlyn Swain's, your Vigio decks, your Sentinels with Jace, your stupid Echo Zillion decks, all of these things are really, really spell heavy. And so the way that we come out here and try to beat up on these decks is with the Stony Suppressor. If you're out here trying to cast a whole bunch of spells, if you're trying to play a time trick and a mystic shot and something else all in the same turn, the Stony Suppressor really comes in and shuts that game plan down. And so it's not like a hard lock. This isn't like a, in the terms of Magic playing a Rest in Peace against Dredge or something, but this is a big roadblock to your opponent's game plan, and it often just buys us plenty of time to do the other stuff that we're trying to do. And then if you take a peek at the good matchups column, the reason these matchups are good isn't so much that we have like this full 3 copies of Mirai Warden, this full 3 copies of Island Navigator, and 2 copies of Jin Vivi. It's just because the game plan and the ideas that we're pulling off here are pretty good against the vast majority of the meta. And so we're able to just dilute our deck down a little bit to bring in this big monster of a card that shuts down a lot of the decks in the format. Even beyond that, it plays to a lot of our game plans. The big game plan that we're trying to do here is just build up a full board and then boost everything. And so, yes, we will have some of these games to where we start off with like a Fleet Feather Tracker, we hit it with a barrier out of the Bright Steel Protector, then we follow up with Misfortune. We're going to have these aggressive draws like that to where our board just builds up naturally, but our opponent is able to do stuff as well. Sometimes they'll interact with us, and Stony Suppressor is good at just shutting down some of those games until we can build up our board and pull off this 4 Demacia plus a rally. And so that is the thing to watch out for here. Again, it's pretty good. It doesn't dilute our deck too much and gives us a real edge in a lot of our bad matchups. The last thing to call out here, there are a few flex spots in the deck. That is mainly going to be your Mirai Wardens, your Island Navigators, and then your Jin Vivis. And I'm pretty happy with this collection of cards that we have. Sometimes you'll want to push up to 2, sometimes even 3 copies of Jin Vivi. But I think this is a more aggro-centric format. I'm more interested in being able to get the multiple units on the board with the Warden and with the Island Navigator, and then still play this 1 copy of Jin Vivi to give us a little bit of punch against the Sundisk decks. And so, in my opinion, this is still, if it's not the best deck in the format, it's certainly in the top 3. I've been mentioning kind of way too much here recently that I think decks like Scouts and decks like Pirates and decks like Elise Burn are better than the percentage played of the meta that they're getting. I think it's since they've been really top of the meta style decks for almost the entirety of the game. They basically, once the Bilgewater set came out, these decks pushed right to the top, and I think people are just kind of tired of playing them. But not me. We've been spending the past 500 videos playing Expedition, and so it's still kind of new and kind of fresh to me, and I've really been enjoying them. And so, with that being that, let's go ahead and jump on in. I know you all are wondering, Bust, have you paid the pay-to-win price? Have you paid the pay-to-win gods? Are you in Masters simply because you paid to win the game? Yes, on all accounts. Look at this. Everything in the deck is premium. There's not anything that we're going to need to turn premium today. Everything is good to go. Riot, if you give Misfortune a cool skin, we will certainly pay money for it. I'm just not a fan of the arcade skin. but nonetheless, that's a problem for another day. So the deck is ready. It's all premium. The price has been paid. We just got to click on this queue thing once we find our deck, and here we go, jumping on into battle. And so yeah, good stuff. And so if you're out here watching the video now, I do plan to do a patch note review. The patch notes aren't out yet. I record stuff early in the morning, and so planning on coming back this evening, putting together a patch note review, and then putting it out shortly thereafter. So by the time this video comes out, you may have already seen it. If you haven't, we plan to do one. And I am historically terrible at that kind of thing. Card evaluation at the beginning, not something I'm particularly good at. So it's okay. It's fair to admit not everybody in the world can be the best at everything, and that is something that I am certainly not the best in the world at. But here, not the greatest of starts. We're looking for some early plays. Being on the even attacks, it gets a little bit awkward in how this stuff can go. Can't use Misfortune on turn 3, and so we've got a pretty nice collection of cards to deal with this, though. The Broadwing gives us a great attacker on the second turn, and then we can kind of decide if we want to drop a Vanguard Sergeant on 3, or if we want to play Misfortune and prepare for an open attack the next turn. Man, Victor Riven just not doing anything today. Mystic Shot, absolutely. And so this is one of these matchups where I was talking about, we aren't specifically playing Stony Suppressor for the Victor decks or for the Riven decks. These matchups tend to just be fine. But it's a nice little incidental casualty, if you will, being able to hurt these decks. And so, interesting, he doesn't attack. And so, if you're wanting to come out here and play a bunch of Reforges from Riven, if you're wanting to play a bunch of the Victor thing, whatever his Hex Core thing is called, you can. You can shut that down, but it's not the big reason, the big goal that we're out here doing it. We are just shutting this guy down. With 2 mana, there's not a whole lot of scary that he can bring at us. We can attack with Misfortune here. The only thing that you would have to worry about out of this space should be a Mystic Shot. And so if his play is to just Mystic Shot our Broadwing to protect Riven, then that's fantastic. If we get the full board clear here, this game should be pretty close to done. Okay, there's an odd opener from opponent. Their cards didn't really sequence out that well. Alrighty, and a Jin Vivi. All aboard, all aboard. Not going to play the Quinn here. I'm going to go for the Durandi Sculptor into the Vanguard Sergeant into the Jin Vivi next turn. Just give us a lot more punch with our scouts we already have on the board. Not super worried about getting like hooks with Quinn. She's not going to flip. No, the hooks that we can get, we can just do with Jin Vivi. It's completely fine. Interesting. Why would you do that now? Boom. Give me them stats. Says, oh shit, bust. Oh shit. You bringing it hard. So this is like little scary hooking in the Ballistic Bot. Let's actually just hook in the Station Archivist. He shouldn't have like too much weird shit to be discarding here to play summoned cards, but I don't want to lose our Jin Vivi on this attack. If we lose our Island Navigator to a Mystic Shot plus Ballistic Bot, then fine. But let's just go ahead and protect our biggest unit. This game's done. Called my shot. We're gonna win this one. Did it. Boomed him. Nice. Okay. GG. So yeah, I haven't quite decided how hype I want to get about the patch in terms of what we want to try out first. Not my good friends like Katarina just haven't been messed with in this patch, and so she was always one of my favorite expedition champions. It's a little sad to see her not catch an update, but no complaints. No complaints. It's tough to get the kind of the full theme of what they want to pull off with the champion. And I think they kind of like thematically missed on Katarina, and so hopefully they circle back and have something cool to go with her. Okay, get the Vigio Sharima. Let's see it. Starting off with the Stony Suppressor seems okay. It's a kind of an odd draw though, in that we're not going to get much aggression going. Otherwise, I think we can just hang on to all of this. Get to protect our misfortunes with the bright steels a little bit. I think it's okay. Feels much better with the Island Navigator. This is the turn where it can get awkward. I don't think this deck usually plays Ruin Runner, but if he does, it's really annoying. It says, oh shit, Bust bringing the spells. he says, Bust bringing the Stony Suppressors. Now, there is a world where we should have just gone ahead and attacked here, like get that 1 point of damage in with the Stony Suppressor, but this deck does play a lot of stuff like a lot of stuff like Fading Icon, whatever he's called. A lot of just like 1 health units, and so I can like certainly come up with scenarios to where we get a good attack in with Misfortune. It's kind of odd where he didn't play anything on the second turn. You wouldn't really expect him to have a Fading Icon, but that kind of thing can definitely happen. Got your back, dog. Trying to hurt our misfortunes. No, thank you. No, thank you. So not to say he can't come in and like drop a Vile Feast now, but it's going to be a 3-mana Vile Feast to do it. Mm-hmm. LOL. Cupcake that one. We're trying to be mean to Misfortune, bruh. That's not what people that like to have fun like to do. Trying to be mean. Okay. I'm pretty happy to come in and just go ahead and take some of these blocks. The Treasure Seeker will let run about, but the problem with the Merciless Hunter and the Camaveran Soldier is they don't die to the Misfortune Boom. And we're starting to build up this board to where we're going to get the Island Navigators going and count on that single point of damage to deal a lot. Right? His blocks with his 1 health units aren't that good at this point. Okay. Get that scout attack. Realistic chance we can flip our Misfortune next turn. I would suspect he's going to block with the Encroaching Mist, but have to wait and see. What 1-mana card are you going to play, bruh? he might be stopping to think if he wants to wait to play a Rite of Calling, right? If you want to get the sacrifice a unit to draw a champion thing going. Maybe he doesn't want to lose his Spiderling as opposed to the Encroaching Mist, but we'll see.
This is our way.
Okay, that's enough. Again, we should be able to build up this Golden Aegis next turn and get the Misfortune flip. If he wants to trade out the Camaveran Soldier for the Island Navigator, it's okay. I'm curious if he's going to open with the Camaveran Soldier or if we just get to drop the Golden Aegis to give her the barrier. We've boomed him so hard with the barriers this game. Feels nice. Now, granted, he can have another Vile Feast. Got to pay the full 3-mana price if he wants to, but I'm feeling decent that this Misfortune's going to survive another turn. I don't know about you all, but I do like to feel decent. feels kind of nice. So we're going to have to block some amount of this. I want to put at least 2 damage onto this Camaveran Soldier so that we can come back and get it with a hook and Misfortune. The problem that comes from this turn is if he does have that Vile Feast, right? If we come out here and block Vigio with the Misfortune, he Vile Feasts in combat and then he gets to take her down. But I think it's worth the risk. I don't really want to be falling down into atrocity range here when we don't have to.
Made your path.
But that like if that happens, you know, we can certainly lose this game. I'm pretty sure that if he's unable to take down the Misfortune there, that we just come out and win. I killed off the summon. I was kind of worried about that happening, but I wanted to get our Bloodletter up to 3 attack, so it could potentially take down this Vigio. So it's like we attack with the Bloodletter now. He either just has to block with the Soldier and just lose it to the love tap, or he has to block with Vigio, which dies to the Bloodletter. This is good. So his Vigio is going to grow, right? He's going to see the dead unit and grow, but our Misfortune's going to flip on this next attack, and we can take him down with the Fleet Feather Tracker plus the Misfortune Boom. Squad, here comes.
That's Captain Fortune.
It's Captain Fortune coming at you. Not Misfortune, the Captain Fortune. Okay. Game says we're coming in for 10. It's not that bad. I don't know what he would have to interact with us here. Like, if this is the space he's really waiting to use that Vile Feast, then phew, by all means, you got some heart in you, my friend. He's like, looks like it might be Ancient Hourglass. Okay, that's fine. We just boomed him for a shitload. No, do we just open? Like, how wrong can things go? So say, like, we open, he has a Vengeance for Misfortune. He still takes 3 from the love tap. And then, I mean, it just feels so safe to just go ahead and, like, get this single scout attack in. Okay. Opponent agrees. But I think going for the second love tap there is more than enough. It's like, if he wants to play some kind of removal spell in the middle of combat, then we just get to refill the board. It feels like something could potentially go wrong if we just make that one all-in attack and then he plays some kind of removal spell mid-combat, gives him tons of time before we're able to deal damage again. But cool. Market a W. Everybody's scared out there. Oh my gosh, we have to wait 30 seconds on a match? We're going to have to drop deeper into the dumpster of the LP just so the match timer goes. It's tough, though. Like, I'm not exactly sure how I feel about it. Like, we're playing Expedition. This is the time where I got to just, like, talk and bullshit. You know, you get that 10 minutes of bullshit in each run while the timer counts down. But if we only have these, like, 3 and 4 second timers, a lot of my beautiful knowledge just gets lost as I have to stop focusing on the games. All right. Not a great start here. The Durandi Sculptor feels pretty good, giving us a way to play something on turn 2. As we come out here and see these like Rangers Resolves in our opener, I kind of feel like I should go and push that thing that makes me click the button. So this guy, like up at the levels that we're at now, these people should realistically be able to be like, oh yeah, he's got a Rangers Resolve in hand. But it's fine, I guess. Alright, so pretty powerful start with him having the Risen Rider and us not having a good blocker. I'm leaning towards just going with Vanguard Sergeants now. The Misfortune just trading isn't super appealing to me. Okay, we'll trade with any amount of this stuff, though. Let's see if he plays a card. Like, we can Rangers Resolve to protect the Vanguard Sergeant, but it doesn't feel ultra necessary here. Give him the full set. He's got the spell shield, quick attack, impact. Sure. Not a ton we can do about that. We can sharp sight in front of him, but I don't really like how that feels. I'm leaning towards just playing Misfortune here. We need to get her on the board before we play Quinn next turn. And then just banking the rest of the mana. So we do have to... We're kind of at risk of getting burned out here now, but hopefully this is okay. Still want to Quinn.
Nothing gets between me and my mark.
Thing we'll have to watch for is this Dum-Dum has a spell shield, and so when we're out here counting up the damage it takes to take down Rumble, we do have to worry about the spell shield eating the love tap from Misfortune. Can't just automatically assume that 1 point of damage comes in.
Scouting ahead.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go for a sharp sight. Getting this Rumble off the board feels like it goes a long way in preventing us from taking damage next turn. Whirling Death. It's kind of fucked up, dude. But sure. Not bad. We chunk in for 6. We have a blocker ready for Rumble. We might make it. It might be okay. You gonna open? Be cool if you didn't open. I'd love to get this barrier down before he attacks. Are we gonna have the time for these kind of shenanigans though? It's like, say he hooks. We're looking to take 5, I think, this turn. If we don't play a unit, that gets us into get excited range. Not amped about it. Not amped. So let's go ahead and get another blocker down. Assume he's gonna... Oh, he does hook Quinn to the right. Did not expect that to be the one. He wants us to have to put Quinn or something in front of Rumble.
That's far enough.
Do we want to Ranger's Resolve? I don't think so. That doesn't get us too far. Like the... Maybe now? It's gonna do something lame. A Whirling Death onto Quinn. We have another one in hand. But what are we going to do with our mana, right? We can Rangers Resolve this. Quinn survives, takes down the Baboon. That's what I'm mainly interested in having out of this combat, but we still lose her at the end of the day. Alright, fine. Fine, dude, be lame. Oh man, I forget Rumble gets like No, is that just a visual? Does he flip and get the spell shield? The game doesn't say he has a spell shield on the left. I'm not exactly sure how that functions.
Demacia needs heroes.
Rip us. GG, my dude. That was tough. We weren't able to quite get on board enough there early. I'm curious how a game like that plays out if we're on the opposite attack and we get to start coming in with Misfortune and forcing some trades. But that initial chunk, that 5 damage turn 2 that we couldn't get in front of was pretty painful. We don't have a ton of blocks for that though with the way our deck's set up. Man, you all know what I'm going to get to do in the next few days? I'm going to get to go buy more poop or shit. We just built a bunch of raised beds. We like to grow the herbs and the vegetables and stuff. It's kind of awkward in terms of like I'm the only one in the family that likes tomatoes. Like, I don't know what the fuck's wrong with the rest of the family, but that's usually one of the kind of like premier things to be growing every summer is you grow a bunch of tomatoes. And then I get so fucking mad. Like, I had to go. I needed some basil this week, and so you have to go and pay like $4 for fucking basil. God, I hate that so much. And so we usually just grow a shitload of it, but we didn't. We were in between homes last year, and you can't really grow a bunch of herbs in an apartment, and so life can be hard sometimes. The struggle. That was before I had the hydroponic system taking care of business. But I got that going again as well. I've got the shit starting to sprout, and so the peppers should be up and running here before long. So he drops Ezreal. That's fine. Doesn't have the mana to take down our misfortune, or to fire off a mystic shot. I don't think I'm really worried about any of this. Let's go ahead and skip that block, and then we should get to sequence our units really well next turn. Right? We can start with the Broadwing. Be ready with it to try and take down Ezreal. And then the Ranger's Resolve is quite interesting in giving us a bit of protection this turn. Well, let's see what he does. Like, if he just passes and we're able to attack with Misfortune and not need a barrier, that would be pretty cool. Still not super worried about what he's bringing to the party here. The deck doesn't usually play a... It doesn't usually play... Oh, what's it called? Like a get excited. Ooh, I didn't want this. I should have put the barrier onto Misfortune, but this is okay. Like, the idea I have with this turn is we're gonna hook the Spiderling with this little guy. So we're gonna get to keep him, get to attack, make this attack here. This attack with Misfortune's probably just good enough. No need to skip out on this damage. Then if he's gonna bring a Mystic Shot or something, we still have the Ranger's Resolve. And I mean, we have a second Misfortune in hand. We're not really hurting here. Another fancier, sure. Ravenous Flock, you've got her. Does anyone believe that the Pharaoh's Fancier is the one that financed Elon Musk's purchase of Twitter? Has anyone done that analysis? Has anyone come out here and ask the real questions? Is this the dude that funded Elon Musk? Mystic Shot, not good enough today, my dude. Not today. Get them dum-dums off the board. Okay. Ready with all my scouts and stuff. Can drop the Golden Aegis next turn, get the second attack in. Sure. Brother is tapped out. We should do this the other way, right? Nope, that's not enough damage. Okay. So we're going to lose our Broadwings this way. I still don't feel like we need to drop a Sharp Sight. We can save it for next turn. Uh-oh. I think that's probably about the best place it could have landed. If he's going to have more Ravenous Flocks or Scorched Earths in hand, we don't want the points of damage spreading out. That's probably fine. Okay, dude plays a Tri-Beam. I'm alright with it. Now, who do we want to try and protect here? It's like... Ravenous Flock would be the only card to worry about. I think we want to protect our Quinn. This way... If he comes in and kills Quinn, whatever. That was kind of expected. But if he doesn't have a card, I want to be able to attack twice.
That's how we do
So
things in Bilgewater.
that's how we do it in Bilgewater, though. GG. Mark it a W for bust. Yeah, Elon Musk on the Twitter. I'm sure he follows he follows FTP_bust on Twitter. Gets the gets that daily feed of these sweet YouTube videos. That's probably what he does. Him and Grom sit down in the morning. They get their morning cup of coffee. Fire up the old FTP bust on the YouTubes. All right, what do we got here? It's some Sun Disk. Sure. All right, I don't like hanging on to 4-drops, so we'll let that one go. Hang on to our bird and our misfortune. Nice little curve. Gotta really get out here and get in front of them with this deck. What this thing? Yeah, that little Legend's making scary fucking noises over here. Alright. The kind of downside to this kind of play as well. Hitting an unscarred Reaver is always downside. Oh my god, the Soothsayer? This is kind of disastrous. But if he like leads with the Ruin Runner there, and then gets to get us with the on the misfortune, it's kind of awkward. But all right. This is a pretty tempting place to try and sharp side up our unscarred Reaver. I don't think we'll be doing that today, but it's a pretty sweet option. Okay. Sad noises abound. So he's going to get the extra summon. These Stony Suppressors aren't fantastic in this matchup. They don't have a ton of cycle to make them super worthwhile, but maybe we just stalled them a turn if they're trying to play the landmark generator. Now, the thing I haven't talked about that we do find ourselves up into a lot against the Sundisk deck, and especially against like the stuff he's doing here, is you can force it to where they just can't put stuff on the board. I don't think it's going to really matter with this setup, but you know, if he wanted to play the if he wanted to play like the Roiling Sands, he wouldn't have any space on his board now. He'd be down 2 summons. Like we're not blocking this Endless Devout. That would actually be a tempting block, but... So, what's our choice here, right? We have the Cythria to give everything fearsome so he can only block with the Endless Devout, but we can also come in and just, like, boom his board this turn. I think that's the one I'm actually leaning towards, is just playing the Jin Vivi, acing as much of his board as we can. And then hopefully we can close with a Cythria attack on his next one. So it's like we can play Cythria on his turn and then open on ours. Sure.
These woods belong to us.
Not just yet with the Endless Devout. Let's hook in the 2/2. Here we get the good hook onto the Soothsayer. And then if he wants the Devout, he can put it in front of Quinn. I think that's fine. So if he has like a second deal 4 damage thing... Oh, he can't play it, right? That costs 5 mana. We have all these Stony Suppressors on the board.
All of this is ours.
Okay, so we've got to lose both of our challengers this turn. That's fine. Chunk in for 8. He has an empty board. All right. And then if we draw a rally, we'll pop off with this Quinn on our next turn. Not super likely, but that was a good draw on the tracker.
Go get the shiny dog.
All right, let's get ready to watch that movie. So can we lethal next turn? If we go ahead and hit with everyone, if we hook Azir with the bird, he blocks Cytherea with Treasure Seeker. He's looking at taking 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we'd be one short. He could also potentially quicksand out of it. But if we play this slow, I don't think I like that either. Let's try and get a Quinn flip. So it should be obvious we're up to shenanigans. He shouldn't be able to kill our Quinn. But he may make it so she just does 0 damage. Okay. So now we get a Quinn bird on the attack. Nope, got the boom for her. Sure.
I sculpt what others only dream of.
Play that 4-mana Waking Sands. Shit. Just sit around and wait. Watch the movie. I'm really glad we got one more of these in before the patch comes out. There should just be like a checkbox, right? To where if both players check the box, that you don't have to watch the fucking movie. Like, I don't want to be the one to deprive someone of watching the movie, but I feel like me and Toph Azotamentes have probably watched the movie enough times in our life to to not really want to see it again. Alright, so this isn't great. We can come in, take down Azir. This guy can come in, take down here. Have to attack with Cytherea if we want to do that. She will get taken down by Xerath. This is not good. This is not good, my friends.
Find your own.
Oh, interesting. He leaves the Cytherea for us. If we get some kind of weird draw where we get super wide, we have a lot of potential. I mean, if he just comes out here and drops like Waking Sands or something, we're going to lose. Oh, I forget he does damage every turn. All right. Or the thing I would love as well is if you're not going to let us do the checkbox thing, let us fucking concede the game in the middle of the movie. Like, I tried to do that pretty hard in the previous video, and it just wasn't a possibility. Now, I've made this comment before. I still stand by it. Given all the things one can bitch about, given any state of the game, if the biggest complaint, the biggest gripe that I can really muster on the last day of the patch is that watching the Shurima movie is fucking annoying, that's been a pretty good patch. I think we can all give Riot a high five on a job well done for this set of cards. Go out there and the intern run it up the flagpole. Intern, you can go and tell everyone we think it's good, and give him a high five on the Twitter or something. Give him a thumbs up. It's a pretty good mulligan right there. Learn from the master if you wanna if you wanna know how to mulligan. What you got for us? Not going to attack here. He does have the annoying line with the Risen Rider again, but we have the misfortune for these 1 health units, so I don't want to just like run out in front of this stuff. We have to sharp sight this Risen Rider. Let's just pass. Sucks to get 2 for 1, but it's just way too much damage for us to take. Like, we are most certainly the control deck in this matchup. Right, here's a misfortune.
No pay.
If we get to attack, that would be cool. If we don't get to attack, that's okay. Boom, baboon, sure, bringing it. Nice. So ideally, we'll get to play one of these island navigators before he attacks. If we just have to take 4 here, it's not the end of the world. But I would like to get some of these blockers down if we can.
Let's turn up the heat.
Big time rumble.
Dangerous water.
Misfortune's probably too important here. Well, we can leave the Boom Baboon on the board, right? We can deal with that Dum Dum next turn. We're going to have Quinn and Misfortune on the board. We can get some hooks into this thing. If that's the way we want to go about it. Probably do. Brightsteel will be good next turn. Okay.
We Demacians are no easy prey.
As long as he doesn't open on us and we can get a Brightsteel block in front of something, like protect Misfortune. That would be nice. Cool. I don't really want to attack with our backline. Why is he putting Draven down? This does open him up to being able to Whirling Death. But we're getting like really close to flipping both of our champions. I think this is okay. Right, getting close to Whirling Death because that's the Draven flip. Let's get him. Okay. I checked my feels on it. I said, Bust, how do you feel about that? I landed on, okay. Alright, it could have been worse, I guess. I'd say we'll lose our Quinn to the Spinning Axe, but we have a bunch of scouts ready for next turn, so hopefully we can get something going with Misfortune. Okay, Rumble will flip here as well, but he doesn't get the Mecha Yordle.
Every work demands a piece of ourselves.
It's Draven time.
I sculpt what others only dream of.
Okay, let's come out here and collect all these stats. That looks pretty good. Gonna go ahead and drop the Broadwing just in case he does some weird shit. And then we have the space on board next turn for the Island Navigator. Looks pretty good to me.
The ocean charts our course. Now that's a bit better.
Playing Ignition. Interesting.
Always forward.
I don't think he ever blocks with Rumble here, but we'll see what happens. It seems like a little dangerous to come in and block with Rumble. He's doing it. He is doing it. Interesting.
You're covered.
So I'm not super worried about winning the combat with Rumble, right? It's kind of scary hooking him with the Broadwing since he can still
Finishing touch.
he could still play like Whirling Death onto the Broadwing to make it small, but with the bullet time coming in, I feel pretty safe with this happening. And then this could be a game where it's like ultra relevant that the Stony Suppressor comes down, right? We're not going to get to play it this turn, but if he's trying to come up with an angle to where he just kills us with burn spells, might very realistically buy ourselves some extra time with the Suppressor. But he's got to be dropping burn on our units at this point. He's still looking at neg 11. Double Whirling Death. Sure. Rip Misfortune. That's the kind of animation I can get behind watching. Get that sun disk stuff out of here. Give us more of these Misfortune booms.
We're on fire.
A slight adjustment.
Looks like Tristy could use
He's got 2 impact dudes. Sure. We'll block some of this stuff. He has to attack before we play the Broadwing, so this is fine. That's a bit better. Takes us to 8. Okay. So there's a realistic chance that we don't get a lethal next turn, but it's going to be pretty tough to pull off. Cool. GG. On to game 7. Just like the finals, the big time. I haven't paid too much attention to the NBA. I see the stuff in the morning at the gym. I usually just follow it under the stipulation that it's the playoffs and LeBron James is involved. But the Lakers were terrible this year, and so I didn't follow too hard. But I did see that the here I want to just keep any like 1 and 2 we have. We got to be aggressive and out and early in this. I did see that the Nets just got swept by the Celtics, and I thought that was hilarious. I really didn't like how Kyrie Irving handled the whole COVID thing. Like the people in these positions as to where you're going to be in the public eye. And granted, you as the viewer, you may not be into sports, you may not be American, you may not understand who Kyrie Irving is, but the dude has like reached to like tens of millions of people, arguably to hundreds of millions of people. And if you're not familiar, he refused to get vaccinated. Fine, but it's just like being in that position of power and not using it for good. I mean, I was myself upset that like Patrick Mahomes didn't come out and be like, "Oh yeah, guys, I don't want to die from the COVID. How about you just go get vaccinated so your boy Patrick can throw a bunch of fucking touchdowns this year?" Like, it's so easy to do. Just like, don't be a dipshit. Like, if you don't want to come out and support it, just don't be like actively against it. And it's just the depressing for me that like such a role model to so many people was through such a fuss. Like, if you don't want to get vaccinated, fine, just don't play basketball for the year. But it's just like in the news every day. That's dumb. But glad to see him lose. Same with Aaron Rodgers. Love seeing him lose. Just I think the thing that really like rustles my jimmies about it is like with these dudes, they're making. Like Aaron Rodgers is making like $40 million a year this year. I think one of the fun stats I saw was like before he was getting like super paid that he is this year, he was getting paid like $18,000 a play. And so for one play of football, Aaron Rodgers get paid $18,000. So for playing two plays of football, being out there potentially, throwing a pass, maybe he just goes out there and hands the ball off. $18,000. The median income in the United States is like $33,000 or something, and so by playing 2 plays of football, he has surpassed the median income of a person in the United States. It just fucking blows my mind. But where that kind of rant was going is if you don't want to get vaccinated and don't want to deal with it and all that, then just he has the millions of dollars of medical care to where if he came down with the vid, which he did, and then has to go and sit in the hospital for a while, then he's getting the best care on the planet. And so it's a little unfortunate. Anyways, rants aside, and back to the game. Hitting this scrappy bomb is fucking annoying. We run into the problem next turn. We can't get our Quinn bird, and so we have the option, like, do we want to go ahead and play this Brightsteel Protector because we're going to lose out on this space anyways, or do we want to bank this mana for the Golden Aegis? And I'm leaning towards the mana bank, and so I'm just going to go ahead and pass. Things may change on this turn in terms of what we can do. Well, that did open up the space. I appreciate it. Sucks to lose that on our unit for free, but get the space for our Quinn bird. Now we have the good hook onto Soothsayer. Okay, and then this will get us a flip on all of our champions next turn. So hopefully that's enough to do some damage.
I've got this. Still heart, steady aim.
The question is, do we want to attack with Misfortune? That feels like the scary one. She's going to be like the real source of our booms next turn. Let's leave her behind. Okay. Lots of damages on his blockers here. That looks pretty good. Should be able to take them down with one hit next turn. And we got 8 mana, so we can go 2 dudes and Golden Aegis. It's kind of nice. So let's lead with the Golden Aegis onto Quinn. I don't know if you can quicksand off Scout. That would be kind of annoying. Rite of Negation, that's kind of annoying as well. Fun, dude, just be lame. Lame as shit. If that's how you want to be. Okay, okay. I'm going to play some cards. Let's protect the little guy from the Zerath boom. If he wants to hook into Brightsteel Protector, that's okay. Now we can get our Broadwing on the board. And then next turn we'll have a couple of extra units if we need to make an attack with Cythria. Okay. I like it. Is he going to boom our Misfortune? Oh, that's lame if that's what you're doing. Ancient Hourglass. Okay, that's fine. So that'll be taking down our 0-3. Gotta watch a fucking movie. Okay. We're gonna have to watch another one. Zerath's gonna flip, isn't he? Okay. Oh my god. So many movies. Okay. Are we done? Okay. Quinn attack. There's our flip. Watch our movie. Much more reasonable. And so if we get to attack with this Misfortune on the board, the game will be done, right? We've got this 3 damage hit coming in from the bullet time if we get a second bullet time. He can counterspell it, right? He can play the Rite of Negation, but should be pretty close to ending this one. Looks like he might actually have it here. I can't imagine he would block with Zerath in place of Azir, right? Zerath is his like big game winner here. Azir doesn't do anything the rest of the game. He's already flipped. He's already put the cards down. Okay, we should be fine. So if he plays like blow up a landmark, he'd be killing our Chemist and our Quinn. Okay, GG. Whew, all right. Getting ourselves right into that final battle. The 5 victories so far. It's a positive on the day. Looking good, looking good. I've been having fun. I don't know if y'all been having fun, but man, I certainly love to play a scout. I'm curious how things will change here in the next day or so. Like it's the thing that interests me in terms of scouts is they say that they're adding in some elite support, and we do occasionally play elite stuff, right? I mean, I've had some versions of this deck to where we played the thing that makes the tattered banners. We do have the Vanguard Sergeant and Cythria already in the deck, and so if you kind of like incidentally get some elite support. I mean, that could be fine, right? If you want to make a Radiant Strike that says, you know, give a unit +1/+1 or +2/+1 if it's an elite or something, then fucking A. I'm on board for that. Curious as well, I think there's got to be some kind of incoming nerf to the Sun Disk. I don't think it's going to be something major. but I think it's going to take some tuning. I think that they've got it into a good space now to where it is a legitimate card. You know, like Sun Disk is a relevant card in the current meta, but it's overtuned a little bit, and so I wouldn't be surprised to see like them up the countdown to 30 or 28 or 33 or something, just to slow it down a turn, because it does like cause a lot of problems in the format in terms of it's really hard to play a control deck when this thing just wins early and often. This is kind of interesting. I was just kind of assumed we were playing the Misfortune, which I think I'm still going to do, but
No prey, no pay.
it's easy for him to play cards that aren't great. Like, this thing is kind of unfortunate. It's tempting just to leave it on the board. Like, getting this one scout, this one Misfortune attack in now doesn't do that much. Okay, let's give it a turn. And if we're popping off next turn with like Quinn and all of these island navigators and stuff, I think that's going to be the good one.
Guide us.
The only downside is if we want to make a Quinn-based play, we can't sharp sight. And so I think that might be okay. The question is, like, do we want to get if we want to get a sharp sight, we can just double Broadwing. Which, I mean, if he's looking to add, like, whatever champion he just drew, then having the double Broadwing does sound kind of good. Okay, I'm on board with that. So we might find ourselves playing, like, Durandi Sculptor plus Broadwing or 2 Broadwings. Either way, still having a sharp sight is good. Leaning towards the double now, since we can get the fresh hook onto Rockhopper. Alright, well, if we're going to take down Azir, we have to go this route. So let's play the Durandi Sculptor.
What others only dream of.
We'll add the Broadwing, and then the sharp sight will get us up to 7. Okay, perfect.
Now that's a bit better.
Could have done the double sharp sight angle instead of the Durandi Sculptor, but I don't really like that. Okay, you can have your one good block with the Endless Devout this turn. That's fine. Not giving up Misfortune, but his board's getting pretty rocked. Cool. Getting that Azir off of here is nice. It's you gotta wait so long, right? You can of course just play another Azir, but it's a big mana sink. It really takes away from a lot of their power plays. So I think that's good. His fortune's up to 2 ticks. Should be ready to flip next turn. I like it.
We share the widow's misfortunes.
Do we ever get a Quinn on board this turn? Probably not. Let's just go ahead and add the Broadwing. I don't want to just like not have a full board and then him pass on us. And it's not the end of the world. Like if he comes at us with a blow up a landmark to deal 4 damage, we can still manage through that.
This is our way. You are not welcome.
So how do we feel about losing the Poro Fly? I think that's okay. Like, we can play Ranger's Resolve this turn, but I'd almost rather just get Quinn down because she does more damage. Like, I could definitely see a world to where we want to play the Fleet Feather Tracker and Quinn, and then use our 3 hooks on his units, and then let our big units get through. So we'd be getting, like, we could potentially lethal here this turn, right? If say he's stuck with these 3 units. I guess the downside to this is, while we can do all that, he's going to be able to just fill out the board with Waking Sand. So we're never going to get in with more than 2 units and deal the 3 damage. Okay.
Blessed is motion. Fresh out of mercy.
Sure.
All eyes on me.
It'd be 1 short. I guess we could have tried to punch in with Sharp Sight, but it'd be 1 short that way.
Not in my city.
Yep, can't block Misfortune. Okay. Well, let's see if that's enough. Definitely still a losable game. Like if he plays a plays an Azir or a Zerath and then has the other half next turn. I think they're both. Oh, Zerath is pretty far away from flipping. Okay, that feels better. The Zerath. Sure. I was going to drop the Quinn. I know we lose out on the bird this way, but I don't think he's going to be able to do anything to our board. We might have to do some incidental blocking, but I think all that matters next turn is we have a scout to get the love attack in with Misfortune. Like, on this turn, what's he going to do? He wants, like, his absolute, like, all-star kind of play is going to be... interesting. I was going to say is going to be destroying the landmark, dealing 4 damage to Misfortune, getting the dude. I could see something like that being problematic, but we can still play units through it.
Your emperor has returned. Your arrogance will cost you again.
I ain't scared. Right, he's gonna play. He's gonna Sarcophagus, target Misfortune, come in with the 2 restored Devouts. We don't have any other 3 attack units on the board, so it's kind of awkward, but I think this is all fine.
Pitiful.
Is the Sun Disk gonna flip as well? What's that hit? One of these smaller things? Oh my god, so long. This was gonna be like a 15-minute video, but now it's like 3 hours long. Gotta watch the movies. Just buckle up. Okay. Yeah, we're back. Fucking A. So do we want to put a small unit on the board to eat the Zerath hit? I think that's okay. The Nimble Poro down. You can come in and block this turn as well. Bring in the squad.
Not today.
Ooh, you're big. You're big, dude.
Got you in my sights. You're easy to track.
Fall to 5. Quinn doesn't die. Our other scout doesn't die. Misfortune doesn't die. Okay, perfect. Damage prevented. Now we can drop Mirai Warden. It should be enough to eat these Zerath hits.
Always forward.
Alright, so he needs the Rite of Negation now, or the bullet time will just kill him. Alright, GG. Whew, glad we got to watch that video right before the game ended. I didn't think I was going to get to watch the Shuriman movie enough anymore. Was this fucking like 3 full times in the movie with like half viewing earlier on? Oh, jeez. Where do we even get up to now in terms of these ranks? Let's take a look. Where's it at? Home? We on the home screen? No. Play? Leaderboard? What is it now? 160? That's not bad. I don't really care about what level of masters we get. Oh, it's an interesting crew on there. Toa Doom played the expeditions there for a bit, and then Jason Florent is the Mastering Runeterra guy. But in terms of like what it matters for getting seasonals, I think you just have to sit in the top 500. And it does look like there's 1,859 people into Masters, but we've been playing quite a few meme decks along the way, and still hanging out in the top 500. And so I think when that like last week rolls around, we shouldn't have too much trouble just playing real decks and getting to sit in the top 500 or so and getting into seasonals that way. I don't know. I don't want to call my shot or anything, but we still have all that gauntlet stuff as a backup as well. And so I think we'll be okay to get in that tournament. I don't suspect we'll have too much success in it. I don't practice or play in tournaments enough to feel really good about it. But we'll play it and have a good time. That's all that really matters. But nonetheless, that's been Scouts. I feel like you got a pretty good taste of it. We got to play against the Sun Disc 4 times. That was a bit more than usual, but you can still see we played it 4 times and won 3. We had a pretty decent matchup there. We played against the Ezreal Caitlyn, which is on the bad end of the spectrum of matchups, but still managed to take that one down pretty handily. And I think we got a good showcasing on the Stony Suppressor and stuff as well. Not any of like the real big blowout games, but I can assure you that Vigio opponent was being thrown fits by the Suppressor, and it's just such a small price to pay to include it in the deck to just improve your matchups so far across the board, and other ones that I'm always pretty happy to have it there. But nonetheless, that's going to do it for us today. I hope you enjoyed the treat. I hope you enjoyed the blessing that we've bestowed upon you. We did bring you Scouts for the week. It is here. It is ready. Soak it all in. Soak it all up. We may not have Scouts next week if the new patch is too fun and exciting and there's too many new archetypes to be exploring. We may not have the Scouts, and so I am glad I got to bring it to you today. But nonetheless, that's going to do it. So I hope everyone enjoyed the video. Maybe learned a thing or two along the way and had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.